Okay, so now I'm gonna go into a little example to finish about the basics of dictionaries, and this is with this text that I created here. So it says this is a test text so that we can go into a concrete example that uses dictionaries to store informations. Um, so we're just gonna have something pretty basic with this text. We want to know the amount of times that each letters appear in the text. So let's create first a dictionary, and we're gonna have a counter dictionary, which is gonna be dict. We created it, and now we're gonna create our for loop. So we're gonna do for letter in counter, and we saw earlier that when you go through a dictionary, the first thing you go through is the keys. Okay, you don't access the values unless you use them as a key in your counter variable. And so all those keys are going to be what the letters, and then the value is going to be the amount of times we've seen the letter. So if our letter is in counter, then we're just basically going to say counter of letter, okay, plus equal 1. So we add 1 to the count. But else, if it didn't appear before, we're going to create counter of letter, and we're going to make it equal 1. By doing this, I'm creating a new key in my dictionary. So now this should work. But if I really want it to be clear, let's say that for me the capital T isn't something important. I want just to know the amount of T's. I'm just going to call this counter.lower, and I'm going to finish by printing counter. Oh yeah, sorry, it's my text, not counter. Here. And now I need to create it. Okay, let's go. So, here we are. 15 T's, 3 H, 8 I's, 9 S's, 19 spaces. So maybe we want to strip those spaces or forget about them, but it's pretty interesting to see that there are so many here. And so here we are. This is one way of checking out letters, and you could maybe do that on a whole document, a whole book, and analyze the amount of letters and be like, if it's more than 90% similar, it could be a copy, it could be someone stealing information from it or something. So yeah, that's a way of using dictionaries. And let's go now with what made me want to do this video and talk about dictionaries, and it's the data handling that leads to NumPy and pandas shenanigans. So let's say that I'm creating this new database object now. This database is gonna have various informations, and instead of like last time having a dictionary for one character, I want a dictionary that's gonna hold informations for multiple characters. And so what I'm going to do is that for every key, I'm going to create a key for every name of every character, every power levels of the characters, and every items they have. And you can see here that I have 3 characters, Serpico, Shirker, and Guts. They have a power each, 30, 100, and 150, and they have items. By doing this, you can see that there is kind of this shape. Every index of 0 in the list of informations is for the same characters. You have Serpico that has 30 power and a wind blade. So when you call for the index 0 of every key, you're going to always have the information from the same character. Okay, if Serpico had multiple informations, I could add another list in my list and say that he's got a wind blade and light boots. Okay, and this is working the same here. Okay, so we created this database. So now let's call the database.name, database of names, and we can see that we have those 3 characters. If I'm calling on Serpico, so one value, we agree that we don't have anything, because this is looking kind of like a table, right? You have the columns here for different informations, then a column of names, a column that's going like this, and you cannot really use it this way. What you can do is just call for the keys. But if I call for database name index2, then I get the character from the index2. So we come back to the structure we've seen before, where you can access all the levels of your dictionary like this. Now, as a little exercise, I created this for loop that's pretty simple for every information in the database keys. Remember that we don't really need these dot keys, I just wanted it to be clear for everyone. We're going to print the database of this key level 0. So what is this going to get? Well, it's going to give us the information for Serpico. It got 30 of power and a wind blade. Okay. Now let's set up this again and print this again, and you can see that now his item list evolved from Windblade and Lightbooks together in a list. Okay. So now it's kind of interesting, this way of accessing informations of within levels. Like it's like a 2D information table. Every 0 level is gonna be the informations of a column of your table, kinda. And this is a realization that made me understand some things better, and we're gonna get to that very quickly. Next example is going to be for my key and value in database.items, and remember that we've seen that, okay, and we're going to print it here, that database.items, and you see that database.items is a list of tuples, the tuples being the key and value. For key value in this thing, we're going to print key and value 1. So what do we get here? Well, you see that for power we get the list of informations. So if we want 1, then we want the second information, the second character of our sheet. So it's Shirke. And you can see that here it's kind of a little table that we have. We have the name is Shirke, the power is 100, and the item is a staff. So with this couple of informations, we get all the lists for our character, and we could store an endless amount of characters in there. And if I make it a tuple, it's not going to work the same because you cannot access an index, so be careful about that. Okay. And now, why did I go into all this? Well, working in pandas, which is going to be in next videos, but I just wanted to finish with this. If I import pandas as PD, I can increment this dictionary into a pandas data frame. And I just wanted to finish and show that because it helped me a lot to see that a pandas data frame is a traduction in a more efficient way of a simple dictionary. So if my database dictionary gets translated into a pandas data frame, I get this, a proper table that's gonna get every key of my dictionary to make them the column's name, and then put all the informations down there with the index being the unwritten index that you have in the previous examples before. And so this is for me a very interesting way of starting with pandas, is to know that you can translate loads of informations with pandas and then handle it, because here I can now manipulate stuff by calling on the column's names or on the column's index and making it very efficient and very practical. You've got a lot of other things to see, obviously, because every column of a pandas data frame is a numpy array. So I'll get deeper into that, and when I feel comfortable with it, I'll make a quick video. Waiting for that. I'll thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.